Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So just before we get started, in case anyone is wondering why my lips are looking so different, I had lip fillers yesterday. I'm obviously pre-recording this. Today was the only day I could film, so yeah, if you will excuse the very plumped up lips, they will go down in a few days. Then we can get started on to today's Mental Health Monday. Impulsive behaviours and Bpd. So impulsive behaviour / like recklessness is something that is deemed a criteria to be diagnosed with Bpd. There are 9 criteria that psychiatrists use to kind of diagnose you with Bpd, and you don't have to tick all the boxes because, you know, some people fit into different things, but like on the whole, it does seem to be like a recurrent theme in my life and in yeah, people with Bpd's life. Why is my bun just gone really saggy? So for me, like as soon as something bad happens, there's like this like inbuilt thing in my brain to go and do something reckless. And this is usually like, say someone said something to me, I'm in an argument with someone, and my first thought goes to, oh, why don't I harm myself so then they can see how much pain I'm in, and then they're gonna feel guilty and I will have the upper hand. Like literally, that is just how my brain has been wired. And obviously, like through years and years and years of therapy, I've been able to combat that. In the situation where you're having an argument with someone, it's kind of like a get out of jail free card, because you flip it all around on yourself. It's all about you, and you're manipulating the other person into feeling sorry for you with your impulsive behavior. It is hard to stop. Like, it's not your fault. You're not sitting there calculating it like consciously. It's just kind of like a series of really fast, like quick firing like things, and then you're doing something reckless. People with Bpd typically suffer with feelings of inadequacy that manifest with unstable emotions, behaviours and relationships. We are very quick to lash out and often don't realise that what we are doing is the wrong thing to do. So when people with Bpd behave impulsively, it's often, I mean, there's obviously a scale to it, but it's often like small things that can set you off. So it's not necessarily something that warrants such a huge reaction. For example, an argument with someone or a tiny little comment can then lead to a suicide attempt. When you're in that moment, you don't think about the consequences. You're in like this really like, I would say it's like tunnel visioned zone, and all you can see is doing this kind of impulsive behavior is gonna help the situation in some way. Like, sounds messed up, and it usually does not help the situation, but you think it does, if that makes sense. Obviously, a lot of people behave impulsively, and this does not mean that they have Bpd. To be diagnosed with Bpd, you have to tick some of the other criteria. So I pulled this off of the NHS website under Bpd and, you know, the symptoms of Bpd, and it said under impulsive behaviour, if you have Bpd, there are 2 main types of impulses you may find extremely difficult to control. An impulse to self-harm, such as cutting your arms with razors, burning your skin with cigarettes in severe cases, especially if you feel intensely sad and depressed. Interesting that they're only given like 2 quite specific methods of self-harm there. Anyway, this impulse can lead to feeling suicidal. Self-harm is obviously a massive part of this whole impulsive behaviours thing with Bpd. With me, my self-harm got worse and worse and worse and worse because I wasn't getting enough of a hit, if you like. So I did it more and more and more, and deeper and deeper and deeper. A lot of the time it was impulsive. Honestly, something would happen to me and I'd have a blade out in seconds. But then a lot of the time it became kind of like a ritual. Like I would do it every evening, and I'd have like a little like ritual on cleaning myself up, etc. But I do find self-harm is something like that impulse, it's still in me. Like I still feel it now. I don't self-harm now. My mind has just programmed itself to go back there, and I don't think that impulse will ever go away. What you learn in therapy is how to deal with that, and I am able to talk myself out of it, whereas before literally anything would set me off, like any excuse to self-harm. My suicide attempts, I found again, like 50-50. Some of them were very impulsive and kind of on the spot decisions, but obviously you have to have a lot of stuff like bubbling up inside you before you do that. Like, it's not just like one day you wake up and you decide to kill yourself, or it would be like a slow burner. So let me give you an example to do with recklessness. One night I really wanted to, like, well, I didn't tell my parents this, but in my head my plan was to drive my car really fast and maybe crash it like into a tree. I told my parents, like, I just want to go for a drive. They saw through that and they were like, no, there's no way you're like getting in the car by yourself. I kicked off. We had a massive argument because I was like, why don't you trust me? Like, obviously, why don't they trust me? Because I've been trying to kill myself, but whatever. So yeah, anyway, I went to bed very angry and I couldn't really sleep that night. I got a little bit of sleep, and then the next day I woke up still feeling the same. I think that's the thing, when you're in a really deep depression, you can often go to sleep and still wake up feeling the exact same, and that's what really got to me. And nowadays, like, my moods, I can move past them a lot quicker. But I woke up, took loads of pills and ended up in A&E. And then the other one that they've given, a strong impulse to engage in reckless and irresponsible activities such as binge drinking, drug abuse, going on a spending or gambling spree, or having unprotected sex with strangers. Now this is where it gets difficult, because obviously a lot of humans who don't have mental health issues do these things. I think, obviously, like I said, like, just this category doesn't mean you have BPD, but I think people with BPD kind of take it to the next level. I am part of like this binge drinking culture anyway, and it's kind of normalized, so it's difficult to differentiate. I guess what you want to know is if you were drinking for the wrong reasons, i.e. to like block your feelings out. Again, a lot of people do this, but is it for an unhealthy reason? I remember literally one night I was going crazy, and then I locked myself in the garage, which had a load of wine in it, and I don't even like red wine, but I had opened a bottle of red wine and started to down it. My parents like banging on the door, like trying to get in. They got in, took the bottle of wine off me, and I was so upset because I literally just wanted to like, I just wanted my mind to stop. I just wanted to wipe it all out, and I just thought alcohol, yeah, like that would be great. And I remember my parents like saying, oh, like, well, we can pour you a glass, that's absolutely fine. They poured me a glass and I literally took it and chucked it like against my wall, so it smashed, and there was like red wine running everywhere. Like, why did I do these things? I don't know. Like, honestly, I think back and I just feel so sorry for my parents. Having unprotected sex with strangers, I feel like, well, maybe not with all, but I definitely went through my slut phase, no shame. And it's difficult again because I was feeling empowered. Sexually, I was feeling confident. But yeah, not practicing safe sex, so probably not the healthiest thing to do, Maddie, but thankfully I'm fine, I'm still here. I actually do want to do a full video on sex and BPD because I feel like there's so much I could talk to you guys about, like including like medications that really just make you not feel anything, like feel numb. Also, I guess like sleeping with multiple people, in terms of people with BPD, it's like you're so scared of like getting attached to people that you just do the opposite and kind of just sleep with those people. And I was saying to myself like, oh, like I don't care, like I'm not going to catch feelings for any of these people, like if I just own it, it'll be fine. Lo and behold, I caught feelings for people. So overall for me, I feel like a lot of my impulsive behaviours come after someone said or done something to me. Like it all really stems from this kind of attachment and this fear of abandonment that we behave in this way to somehow, it's, even if you don't think about it, it's to get a reaction off of someone else, or you may just want to feel something because you feel so numb. And I literally have what my boyfriend calls my Beyonce mode, when I feel like I'm literally invincible and I do like loads of reckless things without actually thinking about the consequences, and then I come back crashing down. But it is like such a huge part of BPD, so I just wanted to make a video on it and see if any of you can relate. So yeah, I hope you got something from this video. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you did like it, and subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you all in Thursday's video. Goodbye!